Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 17th of April. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which is nominally in that rising trend channel that we lost on the tariff debacle. Floor of the channel there at 8,200, and above that, I suppose we can gingerly look towards the 200-day line at 83.40. But the problem here at the moment is that even though we broke a resistance line, our RSI resistance line, a bit late actually in the move, we are failing near to the neutral 50 level. So early bird shorters may be considering that this is the place to go short with a stop loss above the recent highs. Moving on to the DAX, and here the situation is also that we've had the big bounce back above that rather sharp resistance line there, so normally around 21,000. Above that, we could maybe fill the gap up to 21,600, but at the moment, with the RSI also below neutral 50, aggressive traders would be looking down rather than up. Moving on to the Dow, and here it was all about trying to get back above that resistance line. Well, new resistance line. It was actually a support line projection there at 40,500. Obviously, we failed, and maybe that is the Dow leading the other markets. That wall of resistance there at 40,800, rather ominous. And the risk with the double RSI failure that we've had in the last week or so is that we have to retest the old August support area, 38,500, once more, even if we then rally after that. Moving on to Bitcoin, and here the picture also of consolidation, a bit like the FTSE, just back inside that rising trend channel from, in this case, from last March. Level there, 83,000. Above that, we're looking for 90,000, the top of the recent range. RSI at 51. So the glass half full rather than half empty at the moment. Below 83,000, obviously risk another test of that support line projection from November, currently pointing at 74,000. Moving on to gold, and here it's been the star of the show and continues to be the star of the show on the basis that tariffs will be inflationary and destroy the US economy. Here we've got a situation where we managed to get through to our 3,200 target there but before the end of this month, and looking for 3,400 by the end of next month. The way things are going, might actually get there by the end of this month. Recent resistance around the 3250 level. Above that is what we're hoping this market will stay and head towards that 3420 area. Moving on to the stocks, and I have to say, as far as Alba is concerned, if I type out the right letters, the shares have managed to rather surprisingly hit the top of that broadening triangle base that we had there around 002. Above that, we can upgrade the upside to as high as 0.04 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above recent resistance around the 1.5 level. Moving on to one of the stars of the show by quite some margin at the moment, Capai, and here gapping up again, so the shares are really excited at the moment. We had I think the third or fourth target there. That looks like the fourth target there at 0.35. And above that, we've got a best case scenario. We had a best case scenario of a resistance line and basically old resistance there around 0.67. Hoping for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the 0.35 area. A bit of a wide situation. Ideally, I suppose the shares would stay on the right side of 0.4, but that might be too much to expect. Onto the type of stock that I don't normally look at, but we have rather empty look to the market today. Here we've got Dunelm, and it's exciting because it's been a bear trap island reversal, in fact double one, so we gapped down back in March and we've gapped up twice since then, and top of the triangle there heading for £10.80, the 200-day line there at £10.89, so that's the target there for the end of next month, while we remain above a recent resistance around £9.56. I suppose one could tighten it up a bit to the £9.80 area if you want to be closer or close to the market. Interesting developments at EnergyPathways, and here, after testing that broken resistance line there, the red one there, as new support around the 5.3 pence area, and bouncing above the 200-day moving average, we see the shares pushing back towards the main resistance here at 8.25 pence. But I think, as I've said previously, the main thing here is that we get through that 8 pence area to open up the prospect of 13 or 14 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. Nice RSI rebound at neutral 50, so that does give us hope in terms of the upside there. And obviously that comes in the wake of the late announcement yesterday of subscription by existing shareholders and directors. I thought the company was all cashed up, but obviously a little bit more money doesn't do any harm at all. Onto one of the stocks of the day, a great announcement from Lunglife. And here, just I suppose it's just a courtesy to look at the shares. They gapped up, obviously, off the lows. Interesting that we're above the floor of the February gap there at 3 pence. And I suppose if you're in the stock, you'd be hoping that the shares would maintain that 3 pence level on an end of day close basis. If they do, and obviously the proposed delisting permitting, then you can see the upside is towards 6 or 7 pence. But well, this is one of those situations which is probably only for people who are already in it. Moving along to Mosman, and here, nice bounce after yesterday's gap higher, just dancing with the 200-day line there at 0.04, and the big level to break here, obviously, the February resistance there, just shy of 0.5 pence, to then open up the possibility of the shares heading up to the top of the range. But I think we've had months and months of consolidation in that 0.025 to 0.05 area. It's high time that we try to break out. On to Pantheon, where there was a rather horrible rug pull earlier, well, last week. And here, what's interesting is we've had a bear trap rebound from below the rising 200-day moving average at 33 pence. Above that, we are looking for potentially the initial target there at 42 pence, the bottom of the gap, but ideally up to 50 pence or 51 pence by the end of next month to fill that gap down after the news that broke last week. But ideally, we stay above that 200-day line now at 33 pence. Moving on to a decent situation, very decent situation, because it's beaten expectations, but doesn't happen very often in this market. We had Team Internet potentially gingerly in a rising trend channel base. The target was 17 pence, and in fact, the second target was 25 pence, which I drew just when preparing this. So that's almost been hit as well. So I suppose we should be looking at the 30 pence area, which was resistance on the way down, as a potential best case scenario target for Team PLC. So what a win that's been. In terms of the upside or the continuation of the upside, ideally we close above the old April peak, 22 pence on an end of day close basis in order to open up the potential of a move to 30 pence. And finally to note that the 50 and 200-day lines are both rising, so we are heading for a golden cross, which adds a bit of sizzle to the proceedings. Speaking of sizzle, a great announcement today from Thor, which is up about I think 10 pence since I interviewed the company a couple of weeks ago, which is very nice. We were saying we had our target there at 32 pence, which was quite long-standing when the shares were in the near the 50-day line earlier this month, and above 32 pence, looking for up to 47 pence by the end of next month, after the dust settles on the latest announcement. Finishing off with Zoo Digital, and here you can see we had lots of blue candles or clear candles over the recent past. Looks like we're in a falling trend channel, the top of the channel there at 15 pence, so maybe that's where Zoo can head up to if the current momentum is maintained. You can see there's a resistance line there coming through as well. Ideally, we stay above the 11 pence level on an end of day close basis, as that was recent March resistance. That's it for me today. More updates over the bank holiday weekend.